Welcome back, traders. We're going to be looking at something a little different today. We're going to be looking at the cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin has been thrown around quite a lot. There's been a lot of people who've made literally millions of Bitcoin, either by mining it at home and selling it later, or by buying it early. Now, one of the big problems that people are having when trying to trade Bitcoin is that if you want to buy a full coin, then you're going to be spending like $16,000, $17,000, depending on where the price is. At the moment, we are looking at, what's this, 15,600. So if you wanted to trade that, then you would have to cough up an awful lot of money. But luckily, the better forex brokers like JP Markets, you can actually trade Bitcoin on the platform. Now, what this means for us is that we can actually trade small quantities of Bitcoin, and we don't have to worry about the Bitcoin wallet, which people can actually come and hack into it, and there's a lot of security issues. And if you lose your Bitcoin keys, then the money is literally gone. So you're not actually having to trade the Bitcoin and hold on to it in your Bitcoin wallet or e-wallet or anything like that. You can now trade it directly through your platform and still make money by trading it, by either buying sections or selling sections, closing trades, very much the same way that we usually trade the forex market, but you have the added protection of not needing to protect your actual Bitcoins. So that is quite a big thing. One of the main reasons why I'm actually looking at this more is, if anyone watched my videos from a few years ago, I was very skeptical about Bitcoin because it's not a real currency. It's not really backed by anything. But we've seen that a lot of people have made a lot of money. And yes, I have been trading on Bitcoin, obviously. But I feel a lot more confident about it now, especially since Bitcoin futures are coming up and regulators are starting to catch up and figure out how to do it. There's a company called CME Group. They're going to be offering Bitcoin future contracts very soon. It should begin trading by December 18th already. Now, this gives a lot more precedence to Bitcoin over the other cryptocurrencies, which are still definitely worth looking at trading. I wouldn't purchase it directly. I'd rather do it through a platform, through a regulated broker, just for that security and the safety side of it. But you can definitely look at it. But Bitcoin looks like it's going to be breaking another milestone. One of the big problems that regulators are having is that they can't figure out exactly what Bitcoin is, because it's not really a money, it's not really a security, it's sort of something in between. So they're trying to pass it off as I think they called it a money-like investment or a money-like security. But nevertheless, because American federal regulators are getting behind it, and because they're going to be selling official CFDs on stock exchanges and that sort of thing, it means we're going to see even more volatility coming into Bitcoin. And you definitely want to start looking at this as a more serious pair. So let's have a look at the Bitcoin now and just see how really insane it's been over the last while. If you look at our historical data, we do have a gap here. So our data really starts off on the 7th of September 2017, which is enough for us to see just how massively this has grown. In the last 66 days, we've seen, I can't even read that number, it's so big. But your investment would have been absolutely massive. One of the problems that we're finding with the typical way of trading Forex when looking at Bitcoin is that we don't really see a lot of entries. And this is because Bitcoin has been going up so much. We have these massive movements like this running. And inside here there's no entry, so if you missed it here, then you have a problem. So I find that because Bitcoin is so volatile, even the 4-hour time frame it's just too long. And if we look down at the 1 hour, then okay, we start seeing there's more potential entries to get into the trade on the way up. And if we drop it down to the 30 minutes, now we start seeing more potential entries. The other thing is that because Bitcoin is so volatile, that your trades are very big, very, very, very big. So if you're trading on the smaller time frame, this will also let you get lower stop losses, earlier entries, and you can monitor your risk a lot better. In the long run, it does require a bit more work, but the profits are much bigger, and you have a bit more control over where your stop losses are going to be. So as an example, I'm just going to enter a trade now. There are no actual entries. The only reason that I would look at possibly entering is because it's left stochastic and it's heading back up, and the bigger picture is showing me that this is still a bullish market. But with CFDs coming out, people are backing off a bit, so this may go bearish, but nevertheless, I'm going to enter a trade just to show you how the volumes sort of look. So I load up a new order. I've got my Bitcoin versus US dollar, and I'm going to enter a volume of 1. So this is one lot. Now typically on, say, a euro dollar pair, one lot would give you $10 per pip. Now let's have a look here. Look at that profit, look at that loss already. Remember that we have taken into account the spread, which does need to be taken in, and the spread is not massive. We can see here on the chart that it's just fitting across here, but it's already minus 265. If this market goes up and just breaks this level here, then we're going to be looking at I would guess about $1,500, somewhere around there. And a movement like that in Bitcoin is definitely not unheard of. You know, we do see this sort of thing happening all the time. So as a warning, when you first start trading Bitcoin, you should definitely consider it. It is definitely a good way that you could bring in some extra trades, but start small. Don't chuck in a full lot like what I did here on this demo account. I'm just going to let this trade run and see what happens. I'm not even going to set a stop loss, but this is because it's a demo account. Don't do that with a live account, please. What we're going to be doing, and I've been working on a couple of videos about how to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Lite Coin. Those are the three that I'm going to be looking at the most. Bitcoin because it is the big monster in the cryptocurrency range. Ethereum because it seems to be the second biggest, even though it's still much smaller than Bitcoin. And Lite Coin is quite new, which means that if you want to become one of these cryptocurrency millionaires, then I think Litecoin is something that you should consider. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but it's reasonably new. It's still reasonably small, but it's big enough that it's not one of these tiny little cryptocurrencies that keep popping up and dying out every now and then. So these three are fairly stable: the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. I'll be adding several videos that I've been working on to the online course shortly, and every now and then on the Facebook and YouTube channel we'll be talking about trading the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, but we won't be doing it by actually buying Bitcoins. We're going to be doing it through a regulated broker using MetaTrader.